Hello, everyone. I am the immortal Kevin Donovan. Welcome to the channel. I'm just here to pump out some videos and talk about some just random shit. Hopefully, it's funny. Hopefully, it's entertaining. Hopefully, you want to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, blah, blah, blah. What am I going to talk about now? I don't know. I talked about my sobriety in the last video. There's a bunch of stories that I want to share from that. There's a lot of stories that I have in my own life. I'm in my early 40s and I've done a lot of stuff, man. But one of the things that I've done is go through a battle of addiction, and in that I started having deeper thoughts, and we'll talk about deeper thoughts now, right now. What are deeper thoughts? Bigger thoughts, things from why are we here? Why do we exist? Where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? What are we supposed to do? What is our place here? Those are big questions. And there's the crazy part. Science has a lot of answers, but the more answers they get, the more questions come up. And we don't have the real answers. So right now, it's more of a philosophical guess as to purpose here on our little blue planet. I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts. Well, let's get into, well, dump out my head, see what you think. It's the general consensus that the universe was created from the Big Bang. The Big Bang was a tiny infinitesimal space in nothing before everything existed, that everything literally came out of nothing, went and then out. And to this day, the universe is still expanding. Now, in that space, everything was hot and mixed up, and there's gases and protons and neutrons and photons and all kinds of ons and ifs and quarks and atoms and gas and mass, and things are going on and crazy stuff. And what happened was gravity wells started happening and sucking in gas and materials and started getting collected and spinning and getting hot, and those things started igniting into stars, and stars had gravity, and they pulled other things in with other little gravity wells, started spinning and pulling gas and material together, and they formed planets, and then those planets formed in other little ones that formed moons around those planets. Well, ours, planet Earth, happened to land in a certain spot around our certain sun in a certain part of the galaxy that we call the Milky Way. So we land in what they call the habitable zone. We're just close enough to the sun that keeps us warm, but we're just far enough away that we don't freeze and we don't cook. We're just in the middle. And we're in that really weird space where our planet can have liquid water, which is the key to the life as we know it. It's pretty wild stuff that it was a lot of coincidence that this happened. And is it really coincidence, or did some other higher thought process plan that out? A lot of people like to think that God created the universe and everything in it. Could be, yeah, sure. But there's more than one name for God, and there's many religions here on this planet that there's a few thousand religions that talk about all different kinds of stuff and creation, and they all have different points of view and different beliefs of why we're here and what we're doing. And I think all of those are valid to a certain degree. I don't. Then why not? You know, if it causes you to live a better life and be a better person, then you should be all about that. And I'm for it, and I'm with you. Um, but the universe is so big and so vast, like we can't even comprehend the numbers that are behind it. This just the space that is in space is wild. We think we can talk about big numbers like, oh, million, oh, billion. You don't really understand how big that is. They had to come up with new ways to count uh, space and distance between things. Like, we've measured the speed of light. It's about 180,000 miles per second, give or take. I think that's about right. So if it goes 180,000 miles in a second, how much distance is that if you give light a year? If you give it point A and you start a stopwatch and light takes off from that point and it goes for an entire year, 365 days of our calendar, that's, X amount of distance. It goes from point A to point B in whatever distance that is in a year. That is a light year. They've done the math and they've figured that out. The closest star to us is still so many light years away. It's unfathomable. Galaxies are so many light years away. Stars and other things are so many light years away. Not just like, a few light years, like millions of light years away. And the distance of the, between galaxies is millions, if not billions of light years between them. So much space in space. Now, when you have that much space and you have billions or trillions of stars, billions of stars and trillions of exoplanets, blah, 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 there's a fuck ton. When you get that much going, it's asinine to think that we're the only thing alive in the universe. Like, maybe there isn't a God and it just happened. But it's weird to think that we're the only life that just happened. I would think in a broader spectrum that chance that a planet gotten that close to a sun and stayed in that habitable zone happened more than once in the entirety of the galaxy, I would imagine. Unless it is divine planning, and then we're all here for the purpose that the deity put us here for. The weird thing is nobody has rock solid evidence of what that is. You have belief and faith, and that's good. But you can't scientifically conclude what it is. It's all conjecture, really. So in all that space, in all that time, the universe happened about 13 billion years ago, 13.4, 13.8 billion years ago. And our planet's 4.8 billion years old. It took 4.8 billion years for the planet to get to the point where it is now. Man, us, have only been around for like 100,000 years. Like, what's 100,000 compared to 4 billion? It's a drop in the bucket, bro. We've evolved so quickly, so very, very quickly. Evolution is a slow process, and it takes hundreds of thousands or millions of years for things to evolve. Dinosaurs evolved over millions and millions of years. It's wild to think that certain dinosaurs that roamed the planet are closer in time to a Justin Bieber concert than they are to other dinosaurs that came before them. It's wild, but it's true. It's just that much time has elapsed. It's crazy to think about. But where are we on that scale? Well, we've been around for barely a tick as far as evolution goes, and we've come this far, which is pretty wild. Imagine where we'll be in 100,000 years from now. Wow, that's crazy. That's, how much further can we advance? Since Homo sapiens started becoming people as we know them, and had the brains that we developed, and got together in clans and groups and started traveling the world and seeding ourselves throughout this planet, then we started making a civilization, like from all the civilizations that have come up in power and gone by the wayside. There's been a bunch. There's been some super powerful ones. The Roman Empire, the Khan empires in Asia, the Mayans. There's more, and the current superpowers that exist now, the United States and the rest of the world, the global economy, our own economy. It's wild to think of. And all this recently came about since the Industrial Revolution, which happened in the late 1800s. So before the Industrial Revolution, for thousands of years, people existed without the modern commodities that we expect to have happen now. And our viewpoints are changing drastically as our technology increases, and we can see further into space. We can make better technological advances. We can bring people closer together than ever before. But on the same note, it also pushes us further from human interaction than we ever were, which is crazy. 50 years ago, it was a big deal to have a TV and to have a telephone. and to pick up a telephone, which did not have caller ID, by the way, it just rang and it was hanging on the wall, and you'd pick it up and you'd answer it. You didn't know who was on the other side, and you just have to talk to somebody. And nowadays, people have anxiety from talking on a phone. Huh? It's just the way how far we've come and what we're up against. I guess not up against. That's not a good way to put that, but where did we come from? Well, we started we started as a bunch of amino acids that combined together to make a protein, and that protein evolved into a single cell organism, and then that single cell organism kept evolving more and more and more and growing and spreading, and eventually became life as we know it on this planet. And over the last 100,000 years, mankind has evolved to the point where we are now, and it's only been since the late 1800s that we've had the Industrial Revolution to manufacture all the stuff that we find commonplace and things that we take for granted, like electricity and cars and planes and mining abilities to get stuff for things like cell phones, and how do we use these things. And the technology that's driven us is just insane. And we're going so much faster technologically than evolution is. And we're having a hard time reconciling those two differences between, where evolution has taken us to, and how far technology has jumped us from that point. And evolution is not caught up to where technology is, and it never will. It can't, because technology goes so much faster than evolution ever will. So we're kind of caught in this weird dynamic where our bodies are trying to do things that it was necessary for thousands of years, and our society now, our civilization now, doesn't need those behaviors to happen like that anymore. But it's wild, and to try and find purpose and meaning and all that is also another existential exercise. Like, what do you believe? What do you think? What do you feel? What have you been taught? You got to think, you were born in a certain place on this planet. You were born to your parents. Probably, if you're in America, you're born in a hospital, probably. To a mother, at least. And you were raised in a certain part of this nation, so you believe certain things. And people that are raised in the same nation but in different parts believe different things. And it's wild to think that if you were born across the ocean, you wouldn't believe what you believe now. You wouldn't think the same way you think now. You wouldn't see the same stuff now. You wouldn't appreciate the same stuff now. We are a product of our environment, for sure. What we're taught, what we're fed, both physically and mentally, what we're fed since childhood has a super lasting effect on us, and our wants, desires, and how we think we need to live our lives. And it's a big question, why are we here? What is the point? I don't know. I'm not a professor. I'm just a guy that's been through some shit. And I can tell you that I believe that the universe being so big and so vast and having so much in it that we have barely touched the tiniest of percentages of, that the universe itself resembles the neurons in a brain. So the universe itself could very well be a conscious thinking entity. The universe itself could be a sentient being. And it's crazy to think about all the molecules, all the atoms that make up the entirety of the universe also make up us. Every atom in you, me, you, everybody, everything came from the Big Bang. We all came from the same spot, believe it or not. It's wild. So the thing there's hydrogen in you, there's oxygen in you, there's water in you, there's all kinds of minerals and chemicals and things inside of you. Those things exist throughout the universe. We are made of the most common stuff. So stars that are millions or billions of light years away, exoplanets that are billions of light years away from us, are literally made of the same thing we are made of. So in essence, if you think about it and put it together a little bit, now this is a stretch and this is only my thoughts, just my opinion. We ourselves are a small piece of the universe. Um, what am I trying to say? We are ourselves a small piece of the universe experiencing life subjectively, right? So each and every person, a carbon-based person, life form, is also the same material of everything in the universe. And if the universe is a conscious thinking entity, did it in fact put a planet in a spot where it could plant a seed? Like if you're a gardener, you till some soil, you plant some seeds, you put some water on it, and you let it grow. Did you make those plants? Did you create those plants? Are you a god? No, but you knew how to make it work, right? And you grew plants. Maybe the universe is the same thing. Maybe. Maybe what people consider God is, in fact, the universe itself. Again, my opinion, have your own. You can leave a like, you can leave a dislike. You can subscribe and find out more of my nonsense if you'd like. I'd appreciate that. But we are experiencing the universe subjectively through our own eyes. And I think that's what the universe wants us to do. I think it wants us to experience everything, good things, bad things, the yin and the yang of life. You know, you can't appreciate a sunny day if you've never seen a rainy day. You can't appreciate the really good things in life if you haven't been through some of the trenches of life. Without adversity, we can't grow, and without resistance, we can't get stronger. So you need to go through a lot of things in life. You know, you need to get knocked down. You need to get told no. You need to be laughed at. You need to be also, you need to be helped and encouraged and taught, and you need to um, overcome. And you need to know that you can get up whenever you need to, and overcome obstacles. And that's what creates strength. That's what creates character. That's what creates better people. And I think we lost sight of that somehow in the world. And it seems to me that a lot of people are trying to make the world super soft and nice so everybody can exist equally. And while I agree with that, that's to a point. That's what we'd like. But you can't please everybody that way. And eventually that dog will eat itself, because you can't, there's too many people coming from too many places thinking too many different things to appease everyone and to include everyone. Some people just don't want to do that. Now, I do think that nature itself is pretty brutal. If you ever watch nature programs, nature's brutal. Um, Nature chews itself up. You know, there's predators, there's prey. Same thing with the human species. There's predators, there's prey. There's smart and there's dumb. You know, you try and do your best to get through in this planet. And, nobody, as a human being, everybody deserves regular, plain old human rights. And I truly believe that. And I don't want anybody to suffer unnecessarily. That's pointless in existence. Why would we want anybody else to suffer? There are people out there that just want to make people suffer, and I think there's something a little screwy in the old hardware up there. Nobody should be made to suffer just because they want to live a certain way. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. People against other people because of the color of their skin. That's stupid. That's stupid. You're dumb. You're dumb. I want to show my champion. Because I'm a champion. And I think everybody else is a champion too. You're a champion. But why are we here? We're here to experience our own existence. We're here to learn as much as we can, pass on everything we've learned, try and build and create better things. I think it's okay for us to take science to a maximum level and learn how to cultivate not just other things on our own planet, but ourselves. I see no problem with that. We've gotten to a point in science where we can start to genetically modify existing people, but also babies upcoming. When couples want to get pregnant, we can literally affect genes in babies, and people are saying, "Oh, you're playing God." I don't think you're playing God. I think you're just a gardener. You're helping. You're planting a specific seed in a specific area to grow a specific thing. I don't think that's playing God. I think that's just our part of our evolution. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think creating bigger, faster, stronger, smarter people constantly over and over is only going to increase the output of humanity. I think the more that we can decrease the nonsense and increase the knowledge, the better off our species will be. It's a proven fact that eventually our sun that provides us life will in fact die. It can only burn up so much fuel before it runs out of gas. Literally, that's a proven fact. At a certain point, the sun is going to run out of stuff to explode, and it's going to start burning other stuff. And when that happens, the sun itself is going to literally start swelling up. It's going to swell up so big, it's going to envelop all the way out to Saturn, something like that, maybe Jupiter. Like the sun is going to eat the inside of the solar system, and it's going to get so big, it's going to go and collapse in on itself and create a neutron star, I believe. Well, the Earth is going to be part of that destruction. We're going to get eaten by our own sun and burned away. So, easy. That's not going to happen for billions of years, billions with a B. We got time. We got lots of time. But hopefully by then, maybe humans will be smart enough and evolved enough that we can find other places in the universe for us to go to last for more billions of years, maybe even trillions of years. How far can our society go if we can keep advancing ourselves? There's only one reason to exist, I think, is to live and experience life. What happens when we die? I don't know. Nobody knows. A lot of people want to have faith and they want to believe different things. Okay, great, super. I'm with you. Rock and roll. Here's the thing. I believe it's the first or second law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. You got to think that within each person or each living thing on this planet, I would imagine, everything that's alive has some form of energy to it. It's existing and it's growing and it's making more. It's breathing, it's taking in sunlight. It's either a plant making photosynthesis, it's us eating food and burning calories to exist. When you die, well, that energy is not destroyed because it can't be. It can only be transformed. So that says to me that life is kind of recycled. Like if you look at a tree in the woods, a tree is going to start from a sapling. You know, something's going to fall off of another tree, a seed of some kind, a pine cone or an acorn or something is going to fall in the dirt. It's going to get sunlight and water, and it's going to grow into a sapling and then into a small tree and then into a giant tree, and it's going to live for hundreds of years, hopefully. Then eventually, it's going to outgrow itself. It's going to grow old, and it's going to not be strong enough for the elements that are outside. Eventually, it's going to fall down, and when it falls down, it's dead. It no longer has the life to keep growing. So it's going to fall down, but what happens to it? It decays and it becomes part of the ground again, and other plants can grow out of that. It's a recyclable system we got going on. It only stands to reason that we are recyclable as well. Do we get reincarnated? I don't know. I do know that our mortal coil, the one you're in now, the sack of bones and water that you have that you're piloting around, that dies. But what happens to your soul, your consciousness, your higher self? Is there a higher self? I don't know. But just looking around, it seems that everything gets recycled. And if energy is not created or destroyed, it's just transformed, then it seems to reason that we will be transformed as well when we pass away. And I tell you the truth, I'm not scared of it. I'm actually rather excited to see where it goes. I'm just curious. I want to know. I by no means want to die anytime soon. Don't get me wrong. I want to live and enjoy this life. But I'm wildly curious. What could happen? What's next on the horizon? What is the next horizon? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to be? What's going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But those are the deep thoughts I think about. Tell me your deep thoughts, please. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I'm batshit crazy. Tell me if you think the religion you believe in is the right one, and tell me why. I don't know. I'm trying to expand my YouTube channel, The Immortal Kevin Donovan. I'd like more subscribers. Please like and share. subscribe, hit the notifications, all that jazz. I'm going to try and make some more videos. I'll try and keep them around 30 minutes or less. But big thoughts on my mind today. Big thoughts. Where are we going? You know, where's human technology going to take us next? I think we should just keep pushing it. I think we should keep going. I want to see how big and bad we can make it. I want to see how advanced our technology can get before our sun swallows us up. I want to see amazing creations. I want to see us conquer gravity. I want to see us make our own planets. I want to see all kinds of stuff. I want to be able for humans to get to a not just a type 1, maybe a type 2 civilization. I want to be able to see if you can download the human consciousness into a computer, maybe. Can we live forever in an artificial thing? Is that playing God? I don't know. I don't think so. But eventually, you know, you see those movies and things of immortal people. Eventually, they get sick of living and they just want to die. Would you eventually drive yourself crazy if you were alive for 200, 300, 400 years in a computer? Even if you could express yourself and still learn and grow and your mind could still expand, would you still want to do that? Would you want to be around? Or do you think that there's the next horizon is the next natural progression? Let me know what you think. Leave a like, leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is the Immortal Kevin Donovan, and I'll talk to you later.